Hello everybody. Here we are, back again, heading back to the airport. Oh. Looks like there's a delivery. Just knock on the door, they should be there. Guess Amanda delivers some goodies. All right, back to the airport, and it's time for the captain's drive once again. I think last time we began our discussion, we were talking about professionalism, and I want to talk a little bit about professionalism for the younger guys, and for the older guys, help me out. I don't know everything. I'm just trying to share a little bit of my knowledge, my judgment, and my viewpoints with the rest of my aviation community. But I'm also open to learning new things and hearing from everybody. So please write on the comments below, and we'll have some discussions to see if we could all up our game a little bit. So when we're talking about professionalism for everybody, myself included, I'm referring to many things. Professionalism encompasses your appearance. So last time I pointed out a nice clean shave, top and bottom, and today is another day, another nice clean shave. You need to have a nice clean appearance. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with there isn't anything wrong with a beard or a mustache, because when I was young I had a mustache also, kind of like that Tom Selleck look, if you can picture it. And but it just doesn't go with this career. My love is for aviation, and my path is to be in a cockpit. And in that cockpit, I have to wear a mask that must seal on my face for rapid decompressions, or for oxygen and those things. So that's the primary reason for that. Additionally, the airlines, for pilots, not all airlines permit facial hair. So you should be aware of that. For flight attendants, yes, but they don't have to wear a mask that seals on their face. So pilots that I am aware of, I think they're starting to let mustaches, but they haven't warmed up to the beards yet. And I've been at this for several decades. That's just always been a no-no. The other guys don't look, they frown upon it. You may think you look cool now, in college or out of college, the rough look, but not in this environment. In this environment, at a minimum, 50% of the guys that you're flying with are ex-military pilots, fighter pilots. Do you ever see a military fighter pilot with a beard? No, I don't think so. Maybe Goose from Top Gun, from Maverick. Not Goose. Yeah, Goose and his son. On the movie, they sported mustaches, but you don't see anybody sporting a beard, and the flying public is not used to seeing you wear a beard. So it's just, like I said, nothing wrong with it. However, you're not special. Are you going to come and reinvent the airline industry, an industry that's been around for almost 100 years or more? Are you really that guy? You're it, huh? You're the one. No, don't reinvent the wheel. If all of these old guys like me are not used to seeing guys, with scruffy beards and mustaches, or unshaven or unkept, what makes you think you're going to do well on an interview? Think about that for a minute. You show up to an interview, you don't have a nice clean haircut, and you don't have a nice clean shave. What is the first impression right away? Am I getting across to you? So find a nice haircut, get a nice shave, and be that person now. Don't wait till you're going to go and get the job, because it takes a little while to get used to having a certain look. Maybe that certain look is wearing a beard. That takes time, you know. It takes time to have a nice clean look. So be that person now. So that's appearance. You know, wear a collared shirt, a polo shirt, a golf shirt, whatever you want to call it. Don't walk around with a t-shirt. At least not in, you know, the aviation environment. Not when you go fly a Cessna, not when you go to the airport to travel, not when you're walking around with your family. Get used to the idea. Wear a collared shirt. It's not that hard. Give off that professional appearance. Okay? Back in my day, flight instructors used to wear a shirt and tie. It was the look. You know, it gave off the right appearance, the right vibe. So, you know, I know that we don't do that anymore, but a nice collared shirt, a nice polo shirt is good. Goes a long way for you. I'm going to pause this and make sure that I'm getting good audio. All right, awesome. Yeah, it's happened to me a couple of times where I started recording and I didn't have any audio, and after about 15 minutes of me yapping, man, what a disappointment that was. So I'm a little bit more cautious now and I check it. So back to professionalism. Professionalism also encompasses your attitude. So we got appearance, we got attitude. Okay. Like right now, I'm on a Facebook page with low time pilots for time building and instruction and that type of thing. And I'm imagining that these are 18 to 22-year-old young men and women. I never get this from the ladies, but it's always the guys, you know. It's always the guys that act a little bit immature and are not aware of their surroundings. Okay, when you go onto a forum where you have other pilots offering their airplanes for hire for flight time, or either for flight time building or for instruction, you know, it could be a number of things. It could be anything. You're dealing with other pilots, guys that are educated, that are already rated. More than likely, they will have ratings higher than yours, and you never know who's trolling around. A guy like me, who's been in the industry for 35 years or more, and looking for a CFI to bring into my operation, you know, looking for students to offer my planes to rent to. You just don't know. So if you do respond to an ad, somebody who's bought an airplane, think about that for a moment. You're a young person. You're like, maybe you don't even have a job, but you're talking to people who have their credentials. They have their ducks in a row. They've already got their licenses. They've got experience. A guy like me, I've already done all of that. I've got 22,000 hours. I'm at the end of my game, where I'm just buying airplanes to rent to guys like you so that I have something to do when I retire. You know, something that I enjoy. I want to stay in aviation, so I'm building up my little flight club and program with a few planes. And the last thing I need is a 20-year-old guy, you know, asking me a question and talking to me like I'm some other 20-year-old on the street. Hey, brah, how much? Brah, really? That's a little much. That's too high. I get such and such at half the price. What? Blah, 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 blah. Brah, really? Don't do it. Brah, hey, yo, don't do it. Okay? You're talking to somebody older than you, you refer to them as sir. Okay? Because you don't know who that person is. That guy could, in the next minute, that person could potentially offer you a job, and you're going to look like an idiot. Well, you're not going to get a job offer if you're using, language like that. That's just not professional. Especially if you're a college graduate, man. I mean, why? Where in the vocabulary is it okay to talk like that to your seniors, to your peers? It's not. You're not at the playground. Okay? You're a professional. Start acting like it. Start using correct vocabulary. Don't use ebonics. I don't care if you're African American, Latino, or white. Use proper language. You're not out in a club. Okay? You want to be a professional pilot? When are you going to start acting like it? When you're, looking for the job? Why don't you start practicing now? Impress your family, impress your friends. Let them know that there is a change in you for the positive. You've turned over a new leaf. Be and act like the person you want to become. Okay? Attitude. Do the right thing. Have an attitude that you're going to do the best you can at what you're doing. Don't do it half-assed. Don't do it just well enough to get it done. No. Do it right. Try to do it right the first time. Let me tell you something about a man's character, or a woman. A person's character. A person's character is known by how you behave when no one is looking. Think about that. How you behave when no one is looking. That is who you are. If you're stealing when the guy behind the counter is not watching you, you're a thief. If you're cheating on your taxes and not reporting stuff, or you're a thief. If you're anything, whatever it is, whatever you're doing when no one is looking, that is you. That is your character. One more thing about character. A person's character isn't determined by how fast they get back on the horse when the horse kicks them off. Pay attention. A man's character is known by how he looks at the horse while he's on the ground. I'll say it one more time. A person's character is not determined by how fast they get back on that horse after that horse kicks them off. It's determined by how they look at the horse while they are on the ground. Now go have a beer, a sweet tea, or whatever you need to do, and sit somewhere and think about that. That's attitude and character. Okay? So we got appearance, which is part of professionalism. We have attitude. Change your attitude. Be that professional pilot that you want to become. Your certificate says student pilot, right? So you're already a pilot. Start acting like it. How many dumbass pilots do you know out there that are walking around saying, hey, bruh, yo, hey, what's up, yo? Not too many. Don't reinvent the wheel. Okay? Professionalism also, once you get the job, once you are in the seat, is also conducting yourself properly. How you behave with the person next to you. Okay? I, as a captain, typically understand that I direct the show. I set the tone. Okay? If I come in with a poor attitude, if I'm late, if I'm, not prepared, I don't do what I'm supposed to do, I don't come in, by prepared, I mean, here's being prepared. When I check in today, I have a crew of 6, 4 flight attendants and myself and the co-pilot. That's a crew of 6. When I arrive, I should have already briefed myself, looked at the dispatch release, check out the weather at our destination, check out the departure weather, look at the status of the aircraft, make sure that that everything's good to go. Anything that needs to be discussed when I first arrive, I will brief the crew and I would let them know so that we all have the same. We're in the same headspace. We call it a shared mental model. We all have the same understanding. We all know the defects that the plane has. We are all aware of the weather before we leave, and what it's going to be like when we arrive. This way, everyone can plan ahead and do their jobs more effectively. And that's my job, to set the tone. But if I show up late and I haven't done any of this and I'm rushing and I don't cover all this, well, that says a little bit about my professionalism and my attitude towards the job. So I set the tone. If I show up prepared, and then when we do the checklist, I do the checklist. Our organization, our company, wants us to do checklists a certain way. They want us to say certain things at a certain moment, and they want us to notify flight attendants. For example, out of 10,000 feet, you have to notify them that we're out of 10,000 feet, or when we're descending through 18,000 feet, things like that. It just gives them a heads up, and then they could do their job in the back and brief the passengers. So I set the tone. If I come in all upset, pissed off about the contract, or pissed off about something, anything, and it will reflect in what I do. Trust me, it always does. But if I show up in a good mood, like right now, I'm rested, I'm in a good mood, I've had a lot of positive things happening in my day, I'm mentally prepared for the job I'm about to do. There's a lot of responsibility that comes with our job, ladies and gentlemen, and you need to be ready. And there are repercussions if you mess up. If you mess up and it's negligence in your part, there are repercussions. You're not off the hook. So, another example of professionalism, knowing what I'm supposed to do. Okay? Not just showing up ready. How about, I have a headache today, so taking the proper medication. Medication, knowing what you can and cannot take. I could take an aspirin, sure, an ibuprofen. But, what if I took something stronger with like codeine, a prescribed medication? I cannot do that. What if I took something else that has a warning on the label that says do not drive heavy machinery, for a reason? These are things that I don't need anybody to police me. I know what I can or cannot do. If I go out and party with a bunch of friends, like we did a few nights ago on an overnight, I know that the last drink I have is going to be at the latest 10 hours before my show time, because that will give my body enough time to process that. As a rule of thumb, I never have more than 2 beers on an outing with my coworkers, because I know myself. I need to maintain my level of professionalism and demeanor and control. After 2 beers, I start to say silly things. I loosen up, I'm having a good time. And when you're on the job, when you're at work, even on a layover, you're on the job. Just because you're at a bar doesn't mean that you're not the captain or the co-pilot or one of the members of the crew. You are still expected to conduct yourself in a professional manner and, to compose yourself at all times. That's our responsibility. So taking the proper medications, knowing what you can and cannot take. How about just going to bed? Getting proper rest. If you don't go to bed and get, at a minimum, I like to get no less than 6 hours. 7-8 hours, I feel like a rock star. And I can do my job effectively and, I'm more capable in my viewpoint. So get the proper amount of sleep. None of this going to bed at 3 and 4 in the morning playing video games. Let that go. If you know you're going to go out for a lesson tomorrow and you're going to, you're going to do a flight lesson, go to bed early. Make sure you get 8 hours of sleep. Get up early. make a nice breakfast, get nourished, and show up half an hour early. That's professionalism. Be that person. Do not allow yourself to fall down through the cracks, and once you let it slip one time and you get used to being late and you show up late all the time, it just reflects poorly, you know? Your appearance as well. I mean, I'm not wearing my tie and I'm not wearing all my other stuff because I am trying to remove anything that identifies my employer because of our social media agreement. They've asked us to not do that, to not get on videos or recordings or anything and show any company logo. So I would like to keep my employer anonymous because I really like working here and I don't want to mess that up. And so with that said, anything that I say, if I ever mention my employer, is my opinion only, and it is not in any way representative of their position on anything. I do not speak for my employer. I only speak for myself. So appearance, attitude, you know, keep a good attitude towards getting the proper amount of rest, towards keeping your appearance neat, your clothing, your shirts nice and ironed, keep your uniform clean, shine your shoes, put on some cologne, use some mouthwash, you know. Let's see, what else can I tell you? So that's all part of professionalism. You're disciplined using checklists. You're disciplined with arriving on time. You're disciplined with the way you present yourself to your crew and to the people around you, even when no one is looking. You know, keep yourself neat and tidy, and because you never know who's watching you. You never know from a distance. You know, you never know who's got a video camera. You know. Everybody's got cell phones, ring cameras, recorders. You never know when you're on film. Think about that. So don't go picking your nose in the terminal either. You know what I mean? Let's see. So professionalism, attitude, and I think we covered a few things. Those are very important items. Some of you have asked, well, what can I do to distinguish myself, you know, for the interview, when I go on an interview? What can I do to stand out? You know, once you get to the interview, that's it. You're already qualified. The job is yours to lose. You're not there to you know, well, I guess you're there to get the job, but you know what I mean. You're not there and you're gonna outshine everybody and get the job. No, they brought all of you in there to give all of you a job. Everyone's there with a job, but something that you do during that interview is going to lose you that job. Imagine that. Do you think that they're going to go through all this hiring just to bring 100 guys in and waste everybody's time? No. They are hoping that you're the guy or gal on the resume. They want you to be that person. And when you arrive, they're going to look at you, how you present yourself, how you introduce yourself. Hello, ma'am. Hello, sir. My name is Joe. Very nice to meet you. You know, instead of, hey, what's up? Yeah. See ya. You're out. First thing out of your mouth. The first two words out of your mouth are, hey, what's up? Hey, bro, what's going on? You're done. You're done. Don't even sit down. Forget the interview. You failed. You're busted, you know? So start practicing at home, because if you're used to talking like that and expressing yourself like that, it's part of you, and that's going to be hard to change. So my recommendation is start now. Wipe out profanity from your vocabulary. No more cussing. You know, remove the words shit, piss, fuck. Remove those three. Start with those. If you have to make a reference to going to the bathroom, in case you didn't know, there's another way to say shit. It's called defecate. I need to defecate. Because unless you're trying to make a statement and, you know, make people laugh, I mean, why would you walk around using profanity? You know, don't use the word fuck. No one appreciates that. Start replacing it with the word dang. Oh man, dang. I wish I hadn't done that. Oh, dang it. Don't say damn. Don't say fuck. Don't say shit. Say dang. I wish I hadn't done that. Dang it, Joe. Cut it out. Or come on, man. Cut it out. Take the profanity out. Practice. Watch. You'll see results. I promise you. Okay. I guess I need to think up some more stuff to add in there for with attitude. Let's see. What can we talk about attitude? Okay. Attitude is a small thing that goes a long way. Let me tell you something. I would rather fly with a co-pilot who's got a good attitude than with a co-pilot who has got a poor attitude and is super smart, so super sharp. I'd rather fly with a guy that's not so sharp but has a good attitude and an openness to learning and sharing and working together. I'd rather work with that guy than the guy that thinks he knows it all or is the top of his class and is killing it on everything and he's Mr. Superman and he's full of himself. Get out of here. I'd rather have the guy with the good attitude, because that guy with the good attitude is the guy that I'm going to spend a couple of days with, and we're going to be able to communicate well. He's going to be open to learning, and he is going to complement the situation. You know, he's not going to try to reinvent the wheel. He's not going to be what we refer to as a check FO, like a check airman, you know. Well, we got check captains that are super tough on their co-pilots, and then we have check FOs that have been FOs for a long time, and when they get a hold of a new captain, you know, new captains are babes in the woods too, you know. You get a hold of a seasoned FO, get a hold of a new captain, and kind of hold his feet to the fire every little mistake. You don't need to point out every little mistake. There's a way to do it, and there's a way not to do it. And it's okay to point out mistakes, because we do verbalize everything so that we have a shared, I'll use the word again, a shared mental model at all times. So we have a clear understanding. We're on the same page. It's important for me to say something. You know, I can't stay quiet, because then you may continue to do the same mistakes, make the same mistakes in the future. And I also encourage my co-pilots that when I make a mistake, they also point it out to me. What you say or how you say something is equally as important as what you say. You know? For example, you know, sir, we're actually supposed to say that out of 10,000 feet, not out of 9,500. Or, yeah, sir, it's I think isn't it at 10,000 feet? Because we kind of did it at 15, but I think it's at 10,000 feet, right? Okay, yeah, sure. Man, I guess that's not coming across as well as I think it does, because I'm not often in a position where I have to do that. Most of the guys I work with are pretty sharp, and ladies, they're all very sharp, and we all are sticking to our procedures, and we do things when we're supposed to, because that makes the job more predictable. They know that at 10,000 feet, I'm making a certain call, and I'm calling for a checklist. And I know that when they're the flying pilot and I'm the pilot monitoring, they're making those calls. So it's predictable. And then when they don't do that, that's part of that professionalism. It makes me feel that there's something going on, they're a little off or distracted. So it makes me pay more attention, you know. Okay, I think I said a lot on this video. I hope you enjoy it. I hope it's not too long. Hit like, subscribe to my channel. We're going to talk more and more about things like this, guys and gals. I hope you like it. I hope you get something out of it. I'm just sharing my personal experience with you. So I hope it's of some benefit to you. All right, God bless. Fly safe. Take care.